my gosh, guys, I just checked and I've officially been a stay for 365 days. That's an entire year of standing Stray Kids. And I don't know, I feel like we need to talk about this. Like, this is the most important life-changing event ever. We need to discuss. So let's get into it. It's been a solid week since that footage was filmed. I have the worst cold ever, but you know I had to show up for you guys and I love filming, so let's get into it. Alright guys, I just did my skincare routine. As you can very clearly see, I kind of look like a ghost, but it's alright. So I'm really bored and it's currently 2 a.m. So I'm going to be watching the Good Luck Charlie Christmas movie. I know you're probably thinking, why the hell are you watching a Christmas movie in the middle of June? And I don't know, I guess I just kind of want to feel the nostalgia that comes with watching old Disney movies. Like, they just never get old to me. I'm gonna be watching that and you guys can sit and watch me fangirl over old Disney. Bye.
Yeah, sure. Historical Society runs it. Of course, there hasn't been an actual train there since the late 1800s. Butch Cassidy robbed it once.
Oh, how about a rental car place?
Maybe try Lenny's, just up.
Who says I can't walk and cry at the same time? You what?
I'm gonna start off by telling you guys the story of how I became a stay and how I got into K-pop in general, because it's really just such a funny story. And if I'm being honest, I was definitely the kind of person who didn't know anything about K-pop. And when I say I didn't know anything about K-pop, I truly mean as much as you can imagine someone who lives right in the middle of Africa knows about Korean pop music. I did not know anything, okay? I think the most I'd ever heard about K-pop was BTS, just like everyone always says. Like if I was watching, I don't know, the MTV Music Awards or the American Music Awards, and BTS were always somehow mentioned or there, and that is truly the extent of the knowledge that I had. So my little K-pop journey starts last July, I think it was July 4th, and I remember we were at my grandma's place because we're almost always there during the summers. And so I really wanted to go to bed, but my cousins were blasting, I think it was Cheese by Stray Kids, and I was so sick of hearing them talking to me about Stray Kids and whoever the hell they were. I was like, turn it off. And they were like, listen, Manema, we're at a point with you where it's like, if you don't like Stray Kids, you're the problem. And I didn't believe them. I couldn't fathom how I was possibly the problem. And they were like, Manema, listen, we're gonna play for you this one song, and if you don't like it, we will never talk to you about K-pop or Stray Kids ever again. And I was so desperate to have them shut up about K-pop that I was like, okay, you know what, just play the song so I can go to bed. And you will never guess what song they played. Right, they played Red Lights. I mean, whose first K-pop song is Red Lights? What were they trying to do to me? So yeah, the very first K-pop song that I ever heard was Red Lights by Stray Kids, and I remember watching that music video, pausing, looking Hyunjin dead in the eyes as he was tied up by chains and doing whatever the hell it is that he's doing in the Red Lights music video. And I was like, him, what's his name? Give me his name right now. And they looked at me and they were like, oh, of course it's him. And I'm like, of course it's who? Like, give me a name this minute. And they told me his name, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember even then, even after I had been so enamored by everything about Hyunjin, I don't think that was the moment when I truly became a stay. So I remember I went back home and I had to write this book that I had been contemplating on for a while called The Idol Effect, which was basically about a YouTuber who falls in love with a guy she doesn't know is a K-pop idol, and they have like a little summer romance. And I was having a really difficult time visualizing the male love interest. First picture that showed up was a picture of Hyunjin. I'll insert it right here so you guys can see it. It was this picture of Hyunjin, and he had the long dark brown hair and he was wearing this yellow shirt. And I just remember thinking to myself, that's him. Like, that's the guy that I'm going to use as my visual inspiration for Sailor's character, which is the name of the love interest. So I had started writing The Idol Effect. And even then, as I was using Hyunjin as my visual inspiration, I don't think I was a stay deep down in my heart. I wasn't living it. I was only interested in Hyunjin. So I can't call myself a stay back then. I was pretty depressed, to be honest with you, and I had no interest in anything, and I was just so down. And I remember my cousin had sent me a link to watch Stray Kids' Maniac Unveil concert, which was like 3 hours long. I don't know how I sat through it, but I sat through the whole thing. And I remember after listening to their ending ments, like, you know, the little speeches that they give at the end of the concert, I had never felt so seen in my life. I had never felt so seen and heard. And I was like, how is it possible that these 8 men from Korea are able to resonate with me so much? We have had entirely different experiences in our lives. We are from very different places. And how is it that we are able to meet like this under these circumstances and find understanding within each other? You know, I was blown away. And so that was the first time I made an effort to actually watch the Two Kids Room episodes because I wanted to know more and more about every single member. And I was just fascinated by how they all just bring so much to the table and how they're all so incredibly talented. And I just remember my mom being like, oh, this is just another one of her phases. Because if you guys know anything about me, you know that I'm the kind of person who has had so many phases in her life. Like, I go through phases like Pokemon cards. I change so often, and that's why I feel like I could never be the kind of person to get a tattoo or anything, because I lack permanence in character. I'm always changing, and my interests are always changing. So I put a question sticker up on my story earlier, and I asked you guys me questions in honor of my 1-year anniversary of becoming a stay, and I'm gonna be answering all of those. And I was going through them earlier, and oh my gosh, you guys have no chill.
It's unfortunate that people can change something that was just pure innocent fun into drama.
You guys have zero chill, so this is gonna be very fun. So the first question says, what's my favorite thing about being a stay? I would definitely say that my favorite thing about being a stay is this indescribable sense of community that I have around me. And it's the kind of feeling where it's like, you know deep down that no matter what happens, that you will at least never feel the way that you felt before you found Stray Kids. Like, I know that I will never go back to feeling that way because I have something that honestly no one can ever take away from me that I found because of Stray Kids. Next question is, how many Stray Kids albums do you have? And I love your content. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. And I have a lot of Stray Kids albums. I've actually never counted them before, but I would say they're over 20. I would definitely say they're over 20, maybe 30. They're a lot. I have a lot of K-pop albums. Who's your bias? Mine is Bangchan. My bias is Hyunjin. And it's very obvious. I never shut up about him. My bias is Hyunjin. And if you want to know why he's my bias, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I just felt this immediate connection to everything about him. So this was my first Stray Kids album. Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. My very first Stray Kids album was Ordinary, and I remember it was the red version of Ordinary, which I think is a really good first Stray Kids album, and even just first K-pop album to have in general, because it has so many inclusions. Favorite moment of theirs, a moment that whenever I think about it, my heart just warms up and I feel happy. Oh, that's a really good question. I would say the Two Kids Room episodes. Those have some of my favorite moments ever when it comes to Stray Kids. I always reference the one where Hyunjin is telling Sungmin how much he adores him and just like appreciates him and thinks he's like such an inspiration, and Sungmin is like, you don't mean that, and Hyunjin is like, what do you even know?
내가 니한테 카톡을 했잖아. 마이 가수 이렇게. 맨날 마이 가수래. 마이 가수. 너는 내 가수야. 어디 가서 뺏길 수 없어. 넌 내 거야. 사람의 상처를 치유해주는 그 능력이 있거든. 너가 하는 말들을 듣고 변하는 게 굉장히 많지. 지금의 나는 너의 몇 마디 말들로 사실 완성됐어. 뭔가 좀 괜찮은 편의 사람으로 만든 것 같아. 평소에 약간 날 이렇게 생각하고 있었으니까. 짜증나 네가 불러라.
Like, because what does Sungmin even know, you know? Like, I just feel like that's such a beautiful moment. So definitely Two Kids Room episodes. You ever go to a Stray Kids concert? No, I've never gone to a Stray Kids concert. I've actually never gone to a concert of any artist that I love. So not going to a Stray Kids concert wasn't like this life-changing, heartbreaking thing for me, because I feel like I'm always used to having to love things from a distance. Maybe someday I will. I hope that someday I will, but no, I've never been to a Stray Kids concert. Is your bias always Hyunjin? Ooh, this is the moment when you guys think I'm gonna spill some crazy tea, but no, my bias has always been Hyunjin right from the start. It's never changed, and I do not think it will ever change. Like, I get bias wrecked on a daily, but I don't think anyone is capable of taking Hyunjin's place in my heart, you know? What would you say to Hyunjin if you met him on the street? You guys are so silly. You guys are so silly.
Be afraid.
What I would want to say to him, I would just tell him that he's enough. Like, I feel like he really needs to hear that. that he is enough and that he is working exceptionally hard, and that I really do see his efforts and appreciate his efforts. In reality, I would probably act like I do not know him. I would probably act like I don't know him, to be honest with you. Why would I do that? Because I'm way too shy, and he's also shy. He's an introvert, so we would literally probably just be looking at each other like, but yeah, I think I'd probably just act like I don't know him. What has Stray Kids taught you? They've taught me to live. And I know that that sounds really vague, but they really have taught me to live. Your favorite Stray Kids song at the moment? My favorite Stray Kids song at the moment, I think, would have to be There. I really love that song. And someone else asked what's my favorite Stray Kids album. I think it is The Sound. The Sound has some of my favorite Stray Kids songs. So beautiful. If not The Sound, then No Easy. Every single time somebody says after answering a question, it just reminds me so much of Chris. I don't know why. My favorite Stray Kids music video. Red Lights. My favorite Skizoo. That's a really cute question. What do I think is my favorite Skizoo? I think Wolf Chan. I have a Wolf Chan, but I don't have a Jinny Red, which is crazy, mind you, because Hyunjin is my bias. But I don't have a Jinny Red. But I did manage to order a Jinny Red and a Wolf Chan with this whole like pilot fan meeting thing. And it's probably gonna get here years from now. So let's not even talk about that because shipping is crazy. Who's your bias and bias wrecker? My bias is Hyunjin. My bias wrecker is Chan or Felix. It kind of changes. My favorite Stray Kids songs, top 5. I have a playlist. I think I should link it. I'm gonna link it below. I have 2 Stray Kids playlists. I have this one which is called Klewan Nema, and it has all of my favorite like loud Stray Kids songs, which is like Miro, God's Menu, Maniac, Lonely Saint, Domino, Question, I Am You, 3 Racha. All of the ones that are like more upbeat. I have another playlist called Love Stay Girl, which has all of my favorite like casual listening songs, like the ones that I can just listen to on a daily basis and they won't make my ears bleed. So we have There, Don't Let Me Love You, Lost Me, Novel, Scars, Collision, FNF, Beautiful, Connected, Limbo, Love Untold, Deep End, Stars and Raindrops, Love Stay, I Hate to Admit, I Miss You, Alien, Silent Cry. As you can see, majority of my favorite Stray Kids songs are the slow ones because that's the kind of music I really enjoy. Like, I mean, before I started listening to Stray Kids, I listened mostly to Taylor Swift, Phoebe Bridgers, Gracie Abrahams. You guys know who I am, and who I am is a slow music girly, so. All right, guys, so I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week, because we have come to the end of this video, and I know that's so sad, but we are always gonna hang out every week. So this is the end of today's video, and I hope that you guys had a lovely time hanging out with me in my room, and I hope we can hang out again next week, and I hope you have the best day ever, and I love you, and I wanna know how long you've been a stay. Or if this is gonna be your day 1, comment down below this is gonna be your day 1 as a stay, because if I could help, I would be more than happy. But here's to 365 days of them making me stay. So, bye guys, I love you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your week.
Hey, I'm Selena Gomez from Wizards of Waverly Place, and you're watching Disney Channel.